Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Our meeting today is not going to be very long, but we're going to go ahead and get started. Hope you're having a good Thursday. Just want to kind of mention the civil rights data collection. It's due on the 28th of this month. Hopefully you're able to use the pre-populated data elements that we've provided. If not, please know you can overwrite those. Also, if you've got questions about the data that we've provided, please reach out to crdc@sde.ok.gov. Or if it's in regards just to the CRDC in general, contact CRDC at aemcorp.com, or you can call them at 855-255-6901. Our new transfer app. There's been a delay with the parent online form that gives us the ability to create a new STM for students. When it's implemented, it'll help care for those students coming from out of state and private schools. So I ask that you just be patient while we resolve some issues that we're having. And once we're ready to actually put that form out there, we'll give you a heads up. Also, if you're having questions about the transfer app itself, you can contact the accreditation department at accreditation@sde.ok.gov. Also, a reminder, please be sure you're working your wave errors, the validation errors. We do have quite a few out there, so if you're having questions about it, there is a place on the in the wave that you can, that provides an explanation of the error, and then there's a CIF XML file that you can supply to your vendor, and that will help them assist in resolving that. Our SSO items, we do have quite a bit of the district ownership wizards that are still pending. So if you've got any ownership wizard issues out there, please work on getting those resolved. And as far as STNs, they're not in a, we're working through those as well as your districts. So please know that when you submit one that needs state assistance, we're trying to get to those as soon as possible. Wave accounts, if you got a new employee that needs access to the wave, you'll have to contact OMES at service desk@omes.ok.gov. Remember, it does take up to 24 hours for your access to show up. Also, if you have questions, please send those to our email box at studentdatainfo@sde.ok.gov. And there's also documents and guides on the link listed under that. And this presentation will be posted on our website as well. Last, what we have is just a Q&A section for our districts. And I know there's some questions already in the chat, but if you wouldn't mind just unmuting and asking those questions, that would be wonderful.
This is Dina Rogers from Moore, and I've got a couple of different things that I have questions about. The first one is, I am still struggling. I've emailed multiple people and I'm not getting any answers. Our alt ed funding or whatever is down, like, I don't know, $150,000 to $200,000 from last year. And when we requested, well, I didn't, our person that's over that did, when he requested information, we were given a spreadsheet based on that enrollment. And it, number one, it did not include anybody who was enrolled at the beginning of, like, if they started alt ed and then changed schools, they weren't counted towards the, they weren't even in the report.
Dina,
yeah.
I don't mean to cut you off, but this is Lori in state aid. I need to talk to you.
Okay, but I'm going to tell you, I don't think I'm the only one with issues, because I talked to somebody last night that's Power School and theirs was way down.
I completely understand. The funding way. Gosh, I just lost all bit of thought there. the way that it's calculated is different now. So it's going to come across. I'll call me when we get off this or whenever you have a moment.
What, will you tell me your number again? I'm sorry.
405-522-0139.
Okay, great. Thank you. And my other question is, I think we talked about it a couple of months ago, and I'll look again, but I want to just make sure, because we're starting enrollments for next year. The PEBT is not going to be pulled off of enrollment this year. It's going to be pulled from section rosters. Is that remotely correct, or did I dream that? For 22, 23, I mean.
Eric, can you answer that one?
Sorry, I was answering another question. What was the
Oh,
question?
Okay. My question was just, as we're headed into next year, I want to make sure that we're getting enrollments done correctly when we move kids around, to various different things based off their course selection. For PEBT funding, and I don't know if I dreamt this or we talked about it or if I read it somewhere, but is that still going to be reflected through like the admission code for 22, 23, or is that being pulled from based off how we code out their sections?
For now, we're for this year, first off, PBT hasn't been approved through next year, and we don't know if it will or not. So I thought it was. I've been told that it was going to go through 2029. Now legislature is second guessing that. So we may or may not have PBT for the school year in 22 and 23. If we do have this PBT in the school years 22 and 23, we haven't even figured that out yet on how we're going to do that, but I would imagine it's going to be the same way that we're doing it now, which is looking at enrollment codes, attendance codes, and calendars, and of course the free and reduced status. So you look at the free and reduced status. If they qualify, then we move to the rest of the virtual. They have to be virtual, in virtual or distance learning in nature, and missing meals, and that's the deal. And they're getting more strict, a lot more strict with this, and having it be, it has to be COVID related. And since it's been kind of an up and down thing with USDA understanding that we don't collect that on every single absence to make sure it was COVID related. So I think for 21, 22, we're good. I don't know that we'll even do a plan for 22, 23 yet.
Okay.
So there you go.
Okay, well, and if you think there's a possibility it may stay the same, that's at least helpful for knowing what to do going into the year to set it up as best as we possibly can. So in case.
Yep.
Eric, I think Jill's question, and I hope I didn't miss it. You all had already started when I got on. My watch must be a little slow. It said when we add 22, 20, when can we add 22, 23 transfer applications to the transfer portal?
July 1st.
So we cannot add them. That's what okay. We cannot add them until July 1st. So, okay.
However, any student that is a current transfer in your school, that is currently in your school and enrolled as a transfer, you will be able to approve for a continuation into the next year, or deny. You can deny too. It's up to you, but approve or deny for continuation of a transfer into the next year, starting in May. If you approve them through that process, they do not have to resubmit another transfer application.
Okay. Eric, do you know how long that window will be open? Because the law says we have until July 15th to notify them.
Yep.
Okay.
It'll be open until June 30th, and then we'll roll it over so that the new transfer applications can start on.
So if I don't make my decision until July 10th, and I'm not trying to be a jerk, I'm just saying if I just don't get it done on 200 kids or whatever, then if I just don't get that done till July the 10th, because the law allows me till the 15th, can I notify you some other way, or I can go in and change it in a different place in the system?
I don't know. Let me talk to accreditation department and figure out what they want to do about that.
Again, I don't want to drag my feet, but I also don't, I'm not going to tell somebody that they can stay before the last day of school or run any reports for discipline and attendance because, you know, when I was in junior high, we had a kid spray a bunch of deer pee on someone the last day of school because isn't that fun? So I don't want to make those decisions until school's out.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll talk to accreditation to see what their thoughts are on that last 15 days.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, and Debbie mentioned that the CRDC has changed to March 11th. I wasn't notified of that, but I'll definitely look into that. But thanks for providing that information. Paula, you're not getting STNs for your new students?
I'm speaking to her in chat.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I was working with Rick this morning prior was having some communication issues with the wave. So
Okay.
we got those worked out.
All right. Chris has a question about PEBT, Eric, and
Yep,
I think you've already
got it.
responded to him.
Yep.
Amanda has a question about a language code validation error as well as enrollment errors.
Yes, hi. We have a lot of language code validation errors. I know you mentioned that those need to be cleared up. And here's our issue is that the student in a prior enrollment with another district, you know, maybe they reported that home language and native language are Spanish, student language is English. And so, you know, they had the differing languages that they reported. Well, and so that's how they're, you know, marked forever and always as being English learner due to that home language survey. So then when they come to us, the families do not want to continue with that. So they will state English across the board. Well, of course, that's what we deliver up to you all, and it creates an invalidation because we have them as all English. The other process has them, you know, with a varying language, and it causes an error. And we've been told that we're not allowed to change that in order to make it match.
From what I've been told before, they have to be, if they're showing EL initially, they'd have to go through the WIDA testing in order for you to change it to English.
Right. And so I guess that's what I'm saying is that's where a lot of those errors are coming from is we end up kind of in this state of purgatory where because they claimed it one way and now it's another way, like until that can be established,
Right.
reestablished, it's an error. And so there's no way, I guess what I'm saying is there's no way for us to quickly resolve those validation errors. And is that problematic?
First off, it shouldn't be problematic for the rest of the year, Amanda.
Okay.
And we have a new executive director of EL, so we're going to work with her
Okay.
To figure out how we make this better. This has been going on for a few years. This is
Gotcha.
This isn't a new thing. This is a program thing that I think we just need more training and more thought around how we make this validation better and how we make our communication to districts and how they should code it and what those forms say. And should we, you know, because parents change, you know, I'm just as bad as anybody else. I'll put the different information on an enrollment form for my kids too.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's just the way it works.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. And then secondly, section enrollment. We really tried to head this off at the pass with our counselors in the summer. We had a brand new counselor, mass load, every single section enrollment with a summer date instead of the first day of school. And so it's causing a lot of validation errors. And I guess that's my question too, is are we able to stay the course with those for the remainder of the year? Or is that work that we want that needs to be resolved by counselors this year? Because I just hate to pull from them when they've got like social emotional things with kiddos, you know, to dive back in the data.
Let me take a look at your errors in it.
Okay.
today, and I'll get back with you on it.
Okay, and Eric, that was the section enrollment.
Yeah, I got you.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Tamara has a question about, she's reading the laws and guidance indicates that the 2023 open transfer requests may be considered once our 2023 capacities are available, but not entered into the system after July 1st.
I'm not sure what she's asking.
Sorry, this is Tamara, I can elaborate. My understanding would be that we can go ahead and accept interest from people or establish their interest for transfers into our district, but we wouldn't be able to enter them into the system until after July 1st. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can absolutely accept any interest, but correct. July 1st would be the first time you'd be able to enter it.
Okay, so it doesn't prevent us from accepting that interest. That's what I wanted to double check.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Anything else, guys? I will say this on Tamara, though, on second thought, just on the other side of the coin, as long as that meets your local policy, I obviously I'm not gonna overrule that. That's your.
Yes, thank you.
So I don't want to step over that line for sure.
I appreciate that.
Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions, so if that's it, we're going to go ahead and end the call, and I hope you have a safe day today with the weather, and we'll talk to you next week.
Have a good one, guys.